Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, your favorite YouTube harpy. We're at the tail end of the live stream. We're talking about the trouble with Edward, and at first I thought this was a Halloween episode. At first I thought this was gonna be like a dream sequence, a nightmare sequence, something. This white Tribble I got at the premiere. Or at least it was opening night. It was opening night of First Contact. How do I put this? How do I put this simply? It's not a Halloween episode. No, it's not a Halloween episode. It's not a fake out. It has ruined the Tribble mythos by attaching it to a character that, for all intents purposes, or for to be fair, very well acted. Like John Benjamin a lot. H. John Benjamin plays this character, Edward. This character should have been spaced the day he messed up in Starfleet Academy. Now, why do I think he messed up in Starfleet Academy? Well, because his behavior is nothing new to anybody. We don't have any solid proof that he messed up in Starfleet Academy. But this person was allowed on a starship. This person was allowed on a starship, and it's like they're making fun of learning disabled people now. They're making fun of mentally unstable people. They're making fun of people with disabilities. This guy is not right in the head, and they are making him this what? Token example of white man bad? Is that what I'm supposed to get out of this episode? So, full disclosure, yeah, we did watch this during the live stream. Not a Halloween episode, like you might think. We start off like it's a real Star Trek episode. It starts off so strongly, too. It starts off, still it's a little wrong. It doesn't look like Star Trek. We start off on the Enterprise. We have a captain's log from Captain Pike. Oh, the one good thing about the Discovery Season 2 was Captain Pike. One of the good things, anyway. They brought him back in, even after firing him for getting into an altercation with, like, a director, and he almost decked somebody or something, from what I heard. We liked him, though. We did. Anybody who even disliked Discovery liked Anson Mount as Pike. So they brought him back. He starts it off. Captain's log. We're promoting this girl. And now, correct me if I heard this wrong. Did they promote her from lieutenant to captain of a... Yeah, and granted, it's a research vessel. It's a science research vessel. They promoted her over to be captain. And I guess sometimes that happens. You'll have like a lower ranking thing. They're not out there flying like a starship. She's not on a Constitution class or anything. She's on a little science ship, right? Doesn't quite look like a science. Shouldn't it have the big round? Shouldn't it kind of look more like the God, I can't remember the name of it. The little round one. Shouldn't it look more like that, or is that the medical ship? Star Trek breaks my brain anymore. Then I can't remember the ship classes or anything anymore. So it starts off like a Star Trek episode. They're sending her over. They do a walk and talk down the corridor to take her to the transporter. He salutes her. He's like, Captain, and she's like, Captain. And the person they're promoting, is Rosa Salazar. She's going to be the captain of this science vessel, right? And you guys know her. She's Alita. She's Alita Battle Angel. And I know there's a lot of Alita Army people who watch my channel. So they promote her, which is fine. And this is a Star Trek. This is like the most Star Trek I've seen out of Discovery in a very long time. And this is still technically a Discovery kind of side episode. It's not part of Picard. This is still one that's attached to Discovery. I think it's supposed to be scary. I think it might supposed to be like some sort of a Halloween episode, but they just got it completely wrong. I was trying to justify it by thinking that, and no, I think they... But when we get that, and she transports. The ships are next to each other when she transports. It's amazing. It's like they paid attention to that bit. Did Jonathan Frakes direct this? Who directed this one? I gotta look it up. Tell me in the comments who directed this episode, The Trouble with Edward. Because It looks like Star Trek in so many ways. It's a little dark. But it feels almost like Star Trek. And she beams over. You see the ships fly away from each other. You see the ships. You see the ships. Oh, it's amazing. It's like a miracle. You even get a briefing room sort of scene. She goes in, she's in command of her new department. She seems really likable. She seems really competent. She seems really qualified. She's the most Star Trek thing I've seen on Star Trek in a very long time. This is the most Star Trek I've seen in a very long time from Star Trek. Until they mess it up like 4 minutes in. So she's going over, okay, what are my departments working on? And her mission is to go and feed a colony that's kind of near Klingon space. They're starving. They want to try and figure out ways to help them not be starving to death. Like they could rip out a food synthesizer out of their mess hall, since they have those and they show them on the ship. They could do that. They could help them with crop yield. They could do all kinds of Star Trek-y things. So what? When, you have this vast universe of Star Trek to pull from. So what do? No, they have a guy who comes in, played by John Benjamin, and like I said, like the actor, I've liked him since Dr. Katz. He's Archer, he's Bob from Bob's Burgers, he had his own show for a while, didn't he? I like him. He's cool. He is like the token white guy screw-up of this whole show, though, and he's like if Barclay from Next Generation got into a transporter with Suter from Voyager, played by Chucky, what's his name? The guy who plays Chucky from Child's Play. He turned out to be like a killer on Voyager, by the way. Spoilers, 20-year-old spoilers for Voyager. So if you like, those two got in a transporter accident, and then that was raised by Michael Burnham with the sheer level of insanity, instability, social anxiety, crazy, and disrespect of all the negative qualities of those characters, all wrapped into one, right? So of course he proposes instead of crops or anything like that. He's like, hey, I'm working on these Tribbles. We can eat them. We can send them there and they can eat them. And here's where it stops being Star Trek and starts being just, how did this person, you need like another hour of explanation with this character. How did this person become so incompetent on a starship that they're going to suggest taking a life form, an alien life form, dropping it on a planet that it's not native to as a food source in Star Trek? How did they think that that's a good, how did that character develop in the world of Star Trek that we know it? Now, this is what I say. This is clearly, this is where my brain stops, because he's like, oh yeah, I mean, they're all meat under there. They're like a scallop. All right, so of course she's a little shocked, as it would be, because if I were commanding a ship like that, I'd be like, is this guy serious? What's wrong with this guy? So she immediately says, okay, are they sentient? Are they aware? Are they intelligent? I think is the question she asks. She should have said, are they sentient? Are they intelligent life forms? He doesn't know. He doesn't care. He ate one. Somebody else on the ship ate one too, and this should have been her warning. Like, oh, this guy's unstable. He's eating aliens. You don't do that. She said, can you report? Did you have any? Did you have a medical scan after you ate this? Is this approved? I had so many questions. I would not have left it at that. Like, there's some Starfleet procedure there. Granted, this is her first day. This is not the type of person that would be running around in Star Trek. So, to be fair, she might not be expecting that. She does move him off to another project. She's like, yeah, let's not do this one. Let's do this other project. She's very diplomatic. She's a freaking good actor in this. She's a good captain. I like her as a captain. So, of course, he's not happy, and then he goes and reports her, and so the next day, she's like, yeah, I got a lot of complaints about me. That I'm bad at my job, that I shouldn't be here, and she's like, yeah, you're transferred. So she transfers him. She's not even mean to him. She transfers him away. She's like, okay, you're leaving in 2 days. We're going to transfer you. You're clearly not happy here, etc., etc., as you would. He then proceeds to argue with her for about 2 minutes, in which if she, okay, granted, this is not the type of situation that normally would occur in a starship, but there's kind of protocol and procedure, and if it hadn't been her first day, I can see that she would have. And also, she hadn't been promoted up, because like I said, I believe she was promoted from lieutenant to captain, and she didn't raise in the ranks or something, and maybe they promoted her over because she's a science officer. I don't remember. So she's promoted up way too quickly, probably. Doesn't know how to handle him, but does the best she can. If it were me, the second he got lippy, it turned into like a Ghostbusters 2016 skit, you know, like the cat in the bag, out of the bag sort of thing that goes on too long. He's like, oh, the conversation's not over. Oh, but it is. Oh, but it's not over. But it is. That little argumentative nattering shit that I hate in TV and movies. I hate it when they just argue back and forth for too long. It's like, you're not Monty Python. You do not get to argue back and forth like you're intelligent and good at it. It's just a bunch of nattering and crap. This is the crap I see on Twitter from Discovery fans. They just want to argue and poke and be like, oh yes, but it's canon. I don't care if it is fucking canon. It means if it's canon, it means it's not good anymore. And I don't want to admit that Star Trek sucks anymore, but you know what? Star Trek sucks nowadays. And that's the problem with it. So they argue back and forth, and instead of her immediately going in and saying, Lieutenant, you're dismissed. You're going to be confined to your quarters. Do I have to get security? She didn't, you know, because you have a little procedure where you're like, do I need to call security? And then you call security and you have him confined to the bridge, or to the brig, or to his quarters, or somewhere. Not the bridge. You have him confined to quarters. Sorry, I looked over the chat. Robert Pearson got to go. Well, thank you so much, Robert Pearson, for being here. Mike Drop says epic rant. Oh, thank you. This so instead of her confining him to his quarters or something, he proceeds to go and then he genetically modifies them and he adds his DNA to them. And then they start popping like gremlins, you know, the little baby Tribbles start popping out of the mama Tribble like gremlins. And before you know it, Tribblepocalypse. It's just Tribbles galore. They're attacking people. They're eating people. I don't remember them being this violent. They were always pretty docile. And he's even like, oh yeah, one rolled off the table and it died. Like, what? You're killing those little Tribbles. They're so cute. So the Tribbles take over the ship. And instead of, like, him being confined to quarters, he ended up making it worse. She loses her ship on her first day because of this guy who had never been allowed out. This is why they have Starfleet Academy, to weed out crazy people like this. If they know he's going to be nuts and weird in the head. I mean, yeah, granted, maybe he ate a Tribble. Maybe he was under the influence. Maybe she should have said, okay, can you go to sickbay? Go to sickbay. Have the doctor check you out. That's what I would have definitely done. Because if he's acting crazy, she's a Starfleet officer. As a Starfleet officer, you'd be trained to question his sanity. You'd be, okay, you might be under the influence of something. Clearly, we don't have somebody this incompetent on a starship. Clearly, we don't have somebody this crazy. Maybe he's under the influence of something. Maybe he ate something weird. Maybe it's a hallucinogen. Maybe it's a pheromone from a Tribble. Something. But no. She even tries to save him at the end. She's like, no, come on. He's like, no, I don't want to go with you. You're stupid woman. You're stupid. And then so they eat him. They swarm him. They all escape on a shuttle. Or a few of her bridge crew. I don't know how many people are on the ship, but they escape in a shuttle. And then that becomes the backstory for why the Tribbles hate the Klingons, because they're next to Klingon space where this outpost is, where this colony is near Klingon space. The ship ends up going there still, and then wipes out the colony because Tribbles. Because, you know, like the Simpsons said really early when Bart went to Australia, you don't bring in an outside animal to an ecosystem that might not be acclimated for it. And that's what this idiot was going to do anyway. He's going to do something that they said was a bad idea in The Simpsons in 1992. And that's one of the problems that they The Tribbles are herbivores, so no one on the ship was even eaten. Well, I don't know what they did. I think they just crushed him. The ship lost hull integrity. It ends up on the planet. It wipes out the colony, and then it moves into the Klingons, and now it's the Klingons' problem. And this is why the Klingons hate Tribbles, and this is what, only about a decade or so before TOS. So apparently the Tribbles, the Super Tribbles, have human DNA. Because somebody saw some Enterprise and realized that that's how they cured Klingons, but then, see, this decanonizes Enterprise now. I'm just realizing this. The Tribbles that reacted badly to the Klingon in the Trouble with the Tribbles, he looked human. He was one of the Klingons that, well, they're Klingons, we don't talk about it. He was one of the ones that was cured by the human augment DNA. He would have had human DNA in him. If the Tribbles don't like Klingons because of their DNA, and this Klingon has human DNA, then you are going against everything that they set up and fixed in Enterprise. And here's where I get mad, or madder. Captain April is the entire point of the episode, the original episode, right? So why don't Tribbles purr anymore? What do they do now? Snarl and growl, apparently, and they have no teeth. I guess they consumed him. So Tribbles critters. That's what I'm thinking. That they're confusing them with the J.J. Abrams ones that they were selling. Remember, they were selling the critters, or the Tribbles with teeth. Critters. They were selling the critters versions of Tribbles, the ones with the teeth, the Mirror Universe ones, and those are the ones that they can use. The vicious ones with teeth that can eat people. And I know he even says in the episode, oh yeah, they're mostly scallops. They don't actually eat people. Well, they did though. They attacked the one officer chick, and then they attacked him. So I don't know if they just crushed him to death or if they've just absorbed him subdermally like a Venus flytrap will absorb and liquefy. Maybe that's how. See, tell me how they would eat a person. Are they like a Venus flytrap and they can absorb him? I have ranted about this long enough. I am going to end the stream and end the video right now. And yeah, they're fizz gigs without the mouth. Well, they're tuning them into fizz gigs. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I gotta, it's been about a 2-hour live stream. I'm gonna just unlist this one. And I will see you guys on the next video, live stream, or wherever. Bye! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!